In our exploration of symbols, today we focus on a seemingly simple yet deeply meaningful object, a table. Throughout history, art, esoteric traditions, and various religious contexts, the table has appeared as a central symbol representing more than just the surface for physical objects. In many ways, it serves as a metaphor for balance, unity, connection, and spiritual transformation. Let us dive into the layers of symbolism that the table holds across cultures, traditions, and mystical practices. At its most basic level, the table represents a foundation, a structure upon which things are placed, organized, or balanced. Whether it's used for eating, working, or gathering, it is a space where various elements come together for a common purpose. In a metaphysical sense, the table serves as a symbol of harmony and balance, as all objects placed upon it must be arranged in a way that maintains equilibrium. This is especially apparent in sacred rituals or ceremonies, where a table holds symbolic tools, items, or offerings that connect the material world with the spiritual. For example, in Christian tradition, the altar often resembles a table where offerings are placed and the transformation of the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ occurs. Here, the table is a site of sacred transformation and a bridge between the material and the divine. In esoteric and spiritual traditions, the table is often used as a ritual space. Whether in alchemy, witchcraft, or mysticism, the table serves as a workbench for spiritual and magical activities. For instance, in alchemy, the alchemical table holds essential tools and ingredients for the work of transmutation. Each object on the table has its own symbolic significance, such as the philosopher's stone or the tinctures used to transform base metals into gold. Here, the table becomes a site of transformation, both physical and spiritual. In ritual magic, the table may hold objects that represent the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. These elements are placed in harmony, symbolizing the need for balance in the practitioner's life and the work they are doing. In rituals of divination, such as the practice of the Ouija board, the table acts as a portal or connection point to communicate with spirits. The table here represents the threshold between the seen and unseen worlds, a physical manifestation of the medium through which messages can be received from the spiritual realm. Okay? The table is also a central feature in gatherings, particularly those that involve communal meals or celebrations. From the Last Supper in Christianity to the family dinner table, the table is a place where people come together to share, communicate, and unite. In these contexts, the table represents the act of connection, both between people and the divine. In religious traditions, the table is often the place of sacred communion, where members of a community come together to renew bonds and partake in a spiritual feast. In Judaism, the Seder table during Passover is a deeply symbolic setting. The table holds various ceremonial foods, each with its own esoteric significance, such as bitter herbs to represent suffering and charozet to represent the mortar used by slaves in Egypt. The table becomes the site of historical and spiritual remembrance, uniting participants with their ancestors and the divine. One of the most profound esoteric meanings of the table can be found in its role as a symbol of balance between the material and the spiritual worlds. This theme appears throughout religious, alchemical, and mystical traditions. A table is where physical objects are placed, yet it also holds the potential for deeper spiritual significance. In alchemy, the table is where physical processes such as the mixing of substances occur, but it is also where spiritual transmutation takes place. The material work reflects a spiritual journey, and the table holds space for both. In mysticism, The table may represent a sacred space for introspection or prayer, a place where the material concerns of the world are set aside in favor of spiritual pursuits. In this context, the table's flat surface represents the unified field of consciousness, where both the mundane, where both the mundane and the divine can coexist in harmony. In the tarot, the table is prominently featured in the Magician card. On the Magician's table, the four suits of the tarot, wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, are laid out, symbolizing the four elements and the magician's mastery over them. The table in this case is a symbol of the magician's ability to balance and unify all aspects of life: spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and material. The magician's table is not just a physical object, it is a symbol of potential. By combining the energies of the four elements, the magician is able to channel spiritual power into physical manifestation. The table in this instance is both a foundation and a tool for creation. It represents the space where transformation can occur and where the will of the magician is focused on the materialization of spiritual energy. In alchemical traditions, the table can symbolize the workbench upon which the alchemists transmuted base metals into gold, symbolizing the transmutation of the soul. Here, the table serves as a metaphor for the inner work required for spiritual ascension. The table holds not only tools and materials, but also the alchemy of the mind and soul. In esoteric circles, the philosopher's stone, the mythical substance capable of turning base metals into gold, was often believed to be metaphorically connected to the transmutation of self. As the alchemist worked at his table, the process of refining materials mirrored the process of refining the soul. In some esoteric and mystical practices, the geometry of the table holds symbolic importance. A table with a square shape might represent the material world and stability, reflecting the physical realm's grounded, structured nature. A round table, on the other hand, may symbolize unity, wholeness, and infinite cycles, as it has no beginning or end. This concept of sacred geometry relates to the idea that the form of the table can embody deeper universal truths, reflecting the harmony and interconnectedness of all things in the cosmos. The table is more than just a practical object. It serves as a profound symbol in mystical, religious, and esoteric traditions, representing balance, unity, transformation, and spiritual connection. Whether used as an altar, a workspace for alchemy, or a place of communal gathering, the table has long been a site where the material and spiritual worlds meet and interact. In its simplicity, the table holds the potential for profound spiritual transformation, reminding us that every space, no matter how ordinary, can serve as a sacred space when approached with intention, reverence, and understanding. The table teaches us about the importance of balance and harmony, whether in the context of our inner world or the outer world around us. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the esoteric symbolism of the table. May you find balance and wisdom in the spaces you create, and may your path be filled with transformation and connection. Thank you.